Hey, it's studio time. The Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Send your band submissions to Nate at radio949colorado.com.
And welcome back to Studio 94.9. It's the Locals Lounge here at Radio 94.9. My name is Nate Wild, and I got our guests in the studio, Paul, Ian, Jesse, Garrett, and Dan from Equally Challenged. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
All right, first of all, let me just get a little background on the band. Kind of introduce me and the listeners to Equally Challenged, if you will.
All right, well, it started with Jesse and I, and we started playing where Jesse would do some left-hand bass and right-hand Fender Rhodes, and I was playing drum set, and we realized we could be a rhythm section, but then needed a lead instrument, so we did a little bit with him and I, and then added our guitar player Dan, and we're really enjoying that. But to open up availabilities of me playing trumpet and some other things, had played in multiple groups with Garrett, and decided to add him, and that really started the things for about the first 3.5 years of the band.
Okay.
And really enjoyed the left-hand bass. Most people couldn't even tell that we didn't have a bass player. I think feels bad for bass players.
Well, and Jesse approached it from, a long history of left-hand bass playing bands. I mean, we did it right, and it felt right, and it worked really well for that 3.5 years. But
yeah, it did work really well. And then there would be times where Jesse plays really good acoustic guitar and has a lot of good acoustic tunes. So I would switch with him, and he would have to go to my station, and he'd play acoustic guitar. And although it was fun, it kind of it hindered. With having to be in different mixes for different spots and just a lot of gear. So
right.
After about 3.5 years, we decided Ian moved back from Chicago and was looking for a band, and Ian and I had played in multiple groups together. Garrett played with Ian. Jesse had played with Ian in other bands. So we decided to try out some people, and Ian was the obvious fit for the group. So we're excited to have him on this premiere night.
All right, cool, very nice. So it was you and Jesse that kind of started it all, right?
Yeah.
Paul and Jesse, yeah.
So tell me about that. Are you guys like lifelong friends? Tell me how that kind of came together.
Yeah.
You guys got together to jam.
I met Paul at UNC in college way back when, late 90s, and he played trumpet in the trumpet choir, and we started playing in side projects and little bands and just doing little things together. And over the years, it was like, we should do something serious, like a serious project. So when we started doing that, hey, we can make our whole band with just two of us. Well, it kind of worked, but at the same time, we were trying to take on a lot for just two people.
Yeah.
So we did like little acoustic shows and little things here and there, and we were like, we should really expand out and make this a full band. That would be great. And now we're with a bass player. We're finally there. It just took us 4 years.
And the fun part, I mean, we were doing acoustic stuff, but we created the rhythm section for my choir at school when I taught at Tozer Primary. And Jesse was my accompanist for my second grade choir, and we had 75 second graders, and we were doing everything from we did a Beatles show one year, we did a 70s funk show with some P-Funk, we did a reggae show with all different styles of reggae, we did a Mardi Gras show, and it was kind of one of those where we're doing acoustic shows, and we're like, wait, we do the full band thing with the kids, but we don't do it for our own stuff. So I mean, that kind of inspired us to take the acoustic act into an electric act. And then I had seen Dan in a pretty silly Zydeco band called Zonky Tonk Zydeco, and I remember thinking, man, that guy is amazing. And his wife teaches in the Windsor School District with me.
Okay, all right.
And did not know Dan, so I called her up and said, hey, would your husband want to jam? And it was after.
Can Dan come out to play?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and what was funny is Dan came over, and within 45 minutes, I think we had an hour's worth of three-part harmony and tunes. I mean, we had more tunes than we even jammed time-wise, which was an instant fit of all right, this is just really fun.
Yeah.
So that's we were writing music, we were playing all different styles. It was just easy. So.
Very cool. All right. Well, if you guys would, let's play some music, why don't we, huh?
Sounds good.
First one we're going to do, and I feel like I played this one a few weeks ago on the show. I may be mistaken. I know I played one of your guys' tunes. I feel like that was this one, though. Passing You By. Can you tell me a little bit about this song?
Well, Passing You By is a funk tune that I wrote about a year ago, and we started I brought it to the group, and throughout that time, I tried to sing it, and then we've realized throughout the years that Jesse is by far the lead singer of the group. We all love to sing, but we together created a B section for it. We kind of laid it down. So the track I had sent you with Passing You By actually hasn't been released. And we were going to release it as a kind of a 3-song EP, and then brought in Ian. So now we're in the process of eventually we'll take out Jesse's bass line and overdub Ian in there and all that. So that's kind of it's a new and up and coming. We've played it at a few shows, but it's a new favorite. So
I dig it. What's it about? The lyrics.
Well, it's about a lot of things, I guess. Yeah, mostly girls.
Yeah.
Passing you
Par for the
by.
course, gotcha.
We're all. 4 of the 5 of us are married men. So if you're listening, honey, it wasn't anybody recent. No, just girls passing you by.
Gotcha.
Losing confidence as a guy. And wanting girls and being interested in girls, and it's not a story that's hasn't been told before, I guess.
Gotcha.
That, and also kind of trying to find the middle ground
Absolutely.
through your own shadows and stuff. How can we kind of stand together in any way possible?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Equally Challenged is joining me in the studio today. This is called Passing You By. Take it away.
Passing you by, where are you, where are you? Passing you by, where are you, where are you? Slipping in the dark, walking in the woods, feel it in the wind. Where are you, where are you? Trusting how I feel, listen to you speak, try to figure out. Where are you, where are you? Learn to step away, play upon your strengths, let it simmer down. Where are you, where are you? Try some rotation for stabilization. Walking in the woods, feel it in the wind. Where are you, where are you? Trusting how I feel, listen to you speak, try to figure out. Where are you, where are you? Learn to step away, play upon your strengths, let it simmer down. Where are you, where are you? Try some rotation for stabilization.
Yeah. Equally Challenged. That was Passing You By. It's Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge here at Radio 94.9. Nate Wild once again with you here. Now, Equally Challenged, what does that mean? Can you tell me how this name came about?
It's a name I've kind of had for a lot of years, and it's just something that we kind of laugh about because it's like everybody's equally challenged at something, you know, and that's kind of the fun of it. I mean, we do this because we love it, and we do it because we're trying to keep up with the next person. And I know, speaking for myself, that, you know, playing with a group of musicians like these guys, it reminds me that I'm challenged, but yet really, you know, motivated to work at getting up to their level, and feeling very lucky to play with a group of guys that does that. So, you know, at a high level. So that's where it came when I originally came up with it years and years ago. So
Sweet. All right. So are you guys all from Northern Colorado, or?
Not original.
No, not originally. We all live
I'm a
live here
native.
now, though. Yeah.
I'm a native. I was born and raised in Loveland, Colorado. Proud to say it.
Nice. But the group, you guys as a group have been based in what, Fort Collins?
yeah, Front Range area mainly.
I'm gonna say Windsor, Loveland, Fort Collins. And now we have a bass player from
Erie.
I'm in Erie. It's
From
not
Erie?
too bad. It's
so
Erie.
we're trying to represent all of Northern Colorado.
I dig it. Did you drive from Erie?
I did.
Thank you
It's my pleasure.
for your sacrifice.
It's easier than Chicago driving, I'll be honest.
I'll bet. All right, cool. What do you say we get some more music going here for our listeners here?
Like it.
Colors Never Told is the next tune we're going to play. Can you tell me about this one a little bit?
Well, this is kind of an acoustical tune, taking a different approach. I'm breaking it down, a little bit of reggae in there. It's just fun to change things up. We play so many different styles. Sometimes it's hard to tell people what our style is. We're like, well, we do so many styles, and this is just a little different angled. Yeah,
And a fugue.
yeah, almost a fugue. Has some fugal properties in
All
there.
right, so it's a poem that Paul wrote, and I'll let Paul explain it, but this comes from a poem. Go ahead and explain this fugue.
Well, what it comes down to is I try to be as much of a musical nerd as I possibly can. So
Okay.
I mean, it was one of those poems I wrote years ago, and I'm looking through all of my random stuff, trying to find lyrics for a song, and I found it, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And there were certain parts of it, and then I just sat down with Finale one day and kind of wrote it out, and actually didn't know what it sounded like other than the synthetic playback of voices on Finale, and then brought it to the guys, because I've never been in a group with such strong singers. I've always liked to sing, and I've always watched, especially Jesse and his groups. Was in a group, Soul Creek, which, I mean, their vocals were phenomenal. So it was always one of those, like, I want to do something like that. And then when I wrote this, it's like, oh man, these guys read music and sing really well. It's like I can bring them something like this, and it'll be totally awkward and weird, but yet we could do it. And it's been really cool. It's been really fun.
Jesse, tell me what a fugue is.
Tell me what a fugue is too. Yeah.
Fugal songs like multi harmonies, moving with counterpoint, opposite directions, and that's basically it. It's been a long time since I've been in college, so I don't quite remember the actual definition.
I'm in college now, and I don't even remember the exact definition. I did. You're right with the counterpoint. I mean, melody lines that are contrasting melodies that meet together at times.
And so Dan, Jesse, and you, Paul, are all singing a different line during that vocal section?
Yeah, and some different words as well, and then we meet at the end. It's kind of one of those tension and release ideas.
To tell the whole poem in one verse, one stanza.
That's a trip. I'm a musician. You guys are like making my mind go all loopy doopy here.
Wait till you hear it. No.
There we go.
You'll be like, oh wait, that was way easier than I thought it was.
All right, well, let's do just that. Colors Never Told. It is Equally Challenged on Studio 94.9. Take it away.
colors never told. Feelings imagine, colors never told. Feelings imagine, colors never
Yeah. Colors Never Told, the title of that tune. I got equally challenged here in the studio with me, Paul, Ian, Jesse, Garrett, and Dan. Now, Paul, you said you wrote the lyrics to that last tune in a poem form. Are you typically the lyricist of the group, or how does the writing process work exactly?
No, not actually. I mean, I wrote the lyrics and a lot of the music for that one, but we equally split the writing duties. I've got a bunch of tunes. Dan's got a bunch of tunes. Jesse's got a bunch of tunes. Ian is now bringing in bass lines. Garrett always interjects ideas and grooves. We come in with a structure, and then we all meld it together. So I mean, it's definitely, there's not one more writer than the other, which is
Alright.
fun.
We are equally challenged.
Oh, I like that. Cool. Well, in case you're, not keeping up, I have 5 guys in here with me and a very unique sound. Can each of you kind of tell me your influences as far as a musician, not necessarily in this group, but you personally? Paul, you first?
All right. I grew up listening to a lot of different stuff, but I'd say some of my biggest influences as trumpet playing and organ playing, which is my primary instruments in here, would be Chris Littlefield on trumpet. He plays with Carl Denson's Tiny Universe. A big influence there. I obviously listened to a lot of Arturo Sandoval and Vince DiMartino, guys like that, some jazz guys, but jazz guys that played, I think, some really cool, funky, hip stuff. Organ players, I mean, you listen to the original sounds like Jimmy Cliff. You listen to Robert Walters is probably my favorite new age organ player. Medeski, Martin, and Wood is, John Medeski is so fun to listen to just because he gets real weird about it. I think the guy is so talented and so technical in what he plays, but his sounds and his tones, he's like a tone guy for organ, which I think is really cool. So those are my primary influences for a group like this. So
All right, cool. Ian, what about you?
Yeah, a lot of the same. I mean, Grey Boy All-Stars for sure. A couple of different ones, though, is Red Hot Chili Peppers, just growing up, Radiohead, and then Steel Pulse.
How do you feel about
reggae.
Radiohead after the third album?
It's not as good. I like a little more of the rock component that they used to bring, but
Yeah.
it's still all good.
I always ask people that because, Kid A On, it got so weird.
It did.
And it kind of lost me, honestly. The Bends is one of my top 5 albums of all time.
Absolutely. Iron Lung.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just curious, though.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
interesting. Cool. All right. What about Dan?
I grew up in the Northeast and upstate New York, and I listened into what I consider the original sort of jam music, which would have been like, Doors, Hendrix, the band, Traffic, the Allman Brothers, what's classic rock now, and and Zappa, became something later. Really, I went through this metal phase first, with Iron Maiden and Metallica, all the original kind of thrash metal. I still enjoy that music a lot. And then I went through a Zappa phase that's coming on in my life and comes and goes still. And a jazz phase in college where I listened to a lot of Schofield and Pat Metheny and a lot of Joe Pass was a big influence just listening to in college. But now, I feel more just expressive as an art form, and I just really, how you feel is what you know is one of the names of a song of ours, actually, and I feel like that's just how you can express yourself through your instrument is what it's about, not so much what you're doing, but what you're saying.
Yeah, I really like that. Jesse, how about you, man?
Oh, well, I'm a singer-songwriter, so Beatles, of course, I love lyrics, so Pink Floyd, magical kind of inspirational lyrics with ambient sounds. I just always love that. Reggae, Bob Marley, you can't go wrong with Bob. And, Paul Simon, a lot of singer-songwriter stuff really influenced me. Peter Gabriel, lots of different songwriter type bands like that. And then when I got in this band, it was just a perfect opportunity to be able to do harmonies and different lyrics and different sections and work them together musically, that's kind of what I love, is bringing those, like Dan was saying, the meaning and the feeling and bringing that out through the music. That's kind of the goal of expressing yourself through music, is getting what you feel out, and hopefully somebody feels that same thing that you're feeling. I hope they feel this like I feel.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Get that feeling out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Nice. And finally, Garrett, what about you?
Well, as the drummer, I am the token metalhead, so I got that.
Okay.
I got that covered. Kind of a metal snob, though, so
All right.
I can go toe to toe. I listen to the heavyweights. Arch Enemy,
Okay, yeah.
Ghost Ship, Octavius, Mastodon. So we're talking heavy hitters there, but
Yeah.
But honestly, what's influencing me right now is artists that are creating art on a local level.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so that kind of goes beyond just music, where there's so much happening right in your backyard that I think sometimes people get so Netflix and chill, or their nose is glued to their phone, that they forget to go outside, go down to their local venue, go down to their local festival, and take in what art is happening right in front of them. And it even feels really good when you got that kind of a community that comes out and supports you with a little bit of cover money. I think sometimes people think stuff's for free. Art is for free. And, it's not. It should be enjoyed and it should be out there for everyone. But I think that the more support we get as artists, the better. And so any kind of community that helps support art making is a community that I really believe in. And Northern Colorado does that, I think, better than anywhere else in Colorado. And I did live in Denver for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
No slight on Denver, but I think NOCO's got it nailed. So that's an influence. Anybody who does art out and takes that risk to put their art in front of people, that's pretty cool.
Can we fist bump to that? That was amazing. Preach, brother. Damn, I love it. All right, finally, let's get into the very last tune here. Hold On Tight is the title of this one. Can one or two or more of you tell me about this one?
This is just a fun, kind of uplifting tune. I wrote this song essentially, sitting in the sunroom at my house thinking about my lady and how I wanted to create this old-timey 30s sort of speakeasy feel. And I wanted to really get that, to nail that. And I feel like we have, actually, with this song. And it's the shortest song ever written. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's there, under 2 minutes if we can. So this old-timey speakeasy feel. Hope you can sit back and enjoy this one and pretend like you're drinking illegally in the back of a dark bar.
I love it. All right, once again, Equally Challenged is joining me in the studio today. This is Hold On Tight. Take it away.
Hold on tight. My girl, she cuts through town like a roller coaster. Her world, she hasn't landed, but she's getting closer. She's up in the sky, rising above the sea, collecting her thoughts so she can set them free. No gets along with the devil's shoes, and I know her style. She leads me on while she's courting you. I wanna be your world someday. I'm tired of all the games we play. I can't believe the things you say. Let's put these lonely days away and hold on tight. I wanna be your world someday. I'm tired of all the games we play. I can't believe the things you say. Let's put these lonely days away and hold on tight.
All right, hold on tight from Equally Challenged. It is Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. I'm Nate Wild once again. Now, before we wrap it up, what's next for Equally Challenged? What do you got coming up?
Well, the next show is April 14th. We're playing over at High Hops. We love High Hops and all the folks over there. It's kind of been a home base for this band. Always a fun time, and that'll be our first live show with Ian on bass. So we're super pumped about that.
Cool.
And then a couple weeks after that, we'll be hitting Foco MX. That location is to be announced, but we certainly do appreciate the Foco MX folks, Greta and all of them. They've always treated us great, and we've been a part of it since we've been a band. So we really appreciate them as well. So those are the next two in April, which love to see anyone and everyone out. So.
Nice. And your website is equallychallenged.com if anyone wants to go check out your stuff.
That's right, equallychallenged.com. And on there, you can go and click on two different links for the two albums that we have out, and that'll take you to a Bandcamp page for each one of them, and you can listen to them. But I believe, Garrett, can't you download those things for free?
Yeah, I went ahead and set it up so you can put all the songs in your cart and then pay $0 and it'll download to your computer.
Wow.
The cool thing about Bandcamp is you can also donate if you feel like you want to toss us some cash because you appreciate the hard work that went into it. Then we certainly would appreciate it. And that's equallychallenged.bandcamp.com. But we're also on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, anywhere you can find streaming and downloadable music, you'll find Equally Challenged. We got 2 albums hot and ready for you guys to listen, and we got a 3rd one coming out.
And if you didn't write any of that down, Facebook, they're on there.
Oh, yeah.
We like the friend book. Yeah, come be our friend. We'll be friends with anybody.
They're friends with me. All right. Once again, Equally Challenged. I want to thank you guys so much for coming in, sharing your music with us, and sharing your stories.
Thanks so much for having us, Nate.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone here at 94.9.